Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am Montoya. I don't know if you're having the same issue as me. It's the problem of absorbing the information which they put out on this yesterday. This is going to be my third watch now. We're going to watch through the end part of it in double speed just to get through to it. But the part where they're talking about the bases and then you're going to build your base in space, yeah, this is finally the end game we've been wondering about for the longest time. For those who are new, welcome first of all. Pleasure having you join us. What will the end game of Star Citizen look like has been our question for going on 10 years at this point, and they finally gave us a glimpse of what it will be. And I gotta say, it's more than what I ever expected. It's way beyond what I thought would be happening, to the point where I am concerned that I will have no life outside of just running and managing things, logistics behind what this is going to be. It's insane. I'm having trouble absorbing what this can lead to. So let's play some of this, and it's going to be double speed. So hang on to your chair because it's going to be fast. Let's go.
So once you've won your bid, what then? Well, to talk more about that, I'd like to welcome Ian Leyland, Star Citizen's creative director, to the stage.
This is the man I hold responsible for what's going to be happening for the next 10 years. In my life, in Leyland, creative director. This is on you.
Good luck. Thank you. All right, hello, CitizenCon. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Dave. So,
Obviously, I admire his aerodynamic hairstyle. He's obviously highly intelligent, as is indicated by his choice of haircut.
continue the conversation of large-scale endgame org activities. Let's go back to Pyro 3, where the ground bases were being built earlier today. This morning, we saw the small habitat being built by Luke.
First of all, let's talk about this. I love the small habitat. So when they showed this, and I'm watching, I'm like, oh, that's great. You can lay down in a little place, and then you can just decorate it with your chair. And then you put a refiner up and a power station up. And then maybe you can hook up 2 or 3 of them with your friends together. That's going to be great. And then they showed how it expands.
And then we saw deck start to expand the base.
Yeah, okay, so this. And at this point, I'm like, oh, wow, like that's getting kind of complicated. Okay, so you've got your friend who is mining on that side, and then your other friend is probably refining things because he's specializing in that. And another friend who has some special blueprints is making stuff on the other side. All right, okay, that's nice. I mean, it's typical base building in MMOs with the Star Citizen flavor to it. Definitely very, very fancy. And then
into a commercial enterprise. But eventually, we saw a massive example of an org base. But with everything Rich was...
Right, this. I mean, that on its own blew me away, that you could get, let's call it 50, 60 of your org mates maybe to really put down mining and distribution and refining and everything into a big area. And you're just taking over this entire space with all your org mates. I mean, that is impressive. Blown away.
Talking about with org system-wide activities, we want to give you guys the ultimate end goal, but also the thing we need to protect. And to do that, let's look up into the sky and see what it is.
So I do recall them mentioning space stations a long, long time ago, but there's been no mention about it. It's like, is it something that you buy and then you push a button and the space station goes up? Oh, we had no idea. So this, and I'm going to actually take it to play it back at normal speed at this point because I just love this and I hate it at the same time. Let's go. What's that up in the sky? What is it? Loving these boost animations also. So good. That Zeus is looking crispy. It needs the black paint job, but otherwise, still good. Beautiful. So at this point, like you, oh, that's pretty cool. Wow, it's a big space station that an org can run together. Very nice, right? Little did we know what's about to follow now, right?
Well, first of all, to construct your own space station, it's going to require vast quantities of resources and materials. And also, will be a large time investment. But how do we start?
You all called me crazy when we were pushing for Test to grow as a big org. Why do you need 1,000 people, you asked? And I said, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll be important one day.
Well, it all starts with the supply bay. And the supply bay can only be constructed by the pioneer. Once it's created, the supply bay then handles the creation of the station itself. Now, we're in grey box development phase, so the artwork's not final, but let's go on a journey and start building our space base.
So the Pioneer that we paid so much money for, there's finally a use for it. We'll pause here for just a second, and this is something so small, just taking cargo from one ship and putting it onto the dock over there. But you realize what's happening here. Everyone that is involved in mining, you love mining, or you love refining, or you just love cargo transport, it's all coming together. You're all working together, you're bringing your stuff into space, and you're loading it up onto the arm over there, which is going to build the space station. It's giving meaning, it's giving purpose. We've been waiting so long, I mean, it's not here yet, but we've been waiting so long to see what will our end game look like.
Awesome. So as you saw, the cargo grid of the supply bay consumes resources, and the required resources will be substantial, and will need to be topped up over time. So this means orgs will be encouraged to have efficient logistic networks to feed the supply bay. And as Rich outlined with professions, it's ideal if your org is well-rounded in terms of roles. Even the starter player can contribute.
That was something very important he just said there. A role for even a starter player so they can contribute. It sounds small, but it is really very important when this game kicks off. Someone new comes in, and you and I, who've been here from the very beginning, we know everything. There's nothing that we don't know. But you understand how absolutely massive this game is in terms of scope, the breadth of it. When a new player comes in and says, what can I do? Now you can say, well, we need you to go from this supply bay down to the surface, pick up that box, and bring it back. This going back and forth is a very rudimentary, easy thing to learn the ship mechanics, to learn how to traverse areas, to learn how to fly. Once you've done that, well, why don't you go mining? Or, okay, you've got the resources, how about learn some refining? And slowly let them understand the game through doing something with an actual purpose. I love it. I'm loving it already. Okay, we're skipping forward a little bit where they're showing the interior of what this space station is going to look like, and it is gigantic. It is enormous. I cannot see a point in time where you'll think, oh, this is too small for my organization. I think even an organization the size of Test will be perfectly happy with this one single space station. There's so much room for activity. And this is just the bridge. I swear, the scope and size of things in this game, it's beyond anything we could have imagined during the Kickstarter. Am I right?
Super awesome. The back of the bridge leads to a centralized transit network. This spine physically connects the entire station and will provide access to the various decks. Each level in the station will have a centralized...
It comes pre-made with the Test Squadron logo in it. There's nothing we need to do. Maybe we'll paint these yellow, but that's about it.
module comes with 2 hardpoint connectors. Major hardpoints are used to connect substantial wing additions to your station. The first example...
Yeah, so at this point, you're also thinking that is cool, because now if you are going to be like a trade hub, you just focus. But look how massive it is. Those are caterpillars. That's a Hull D. What are these? They're massive. Look how big this is.
Awesome, thank you, awesome. The first example is the cargo wing. The cargo wing will dramatically increase your inventory capacity. So this is ideal for orgs who are specializing in holding. Then we have the refinery wing. So you'll be able to refine resources on a vast scale. As it's in space, it's much more convenient than traveling to a ground base. Now, a player could buy resources from your cargo wing and then refine it directly in the refinery wing. And finally, we have the hangar wing.
So you don't need to even go to the surface. If you're into the refinery business, you'll go from the one wing, which probably has raw materials, just take it over to the refining wing, refine it there, and then go to the commerce area and sell everything. The entire game loop that you need exists in the player-made space station. I don't even know where to begin with this. So right over here, if you're like me, you're just blown away by the amount of options available to you on not only designing your base, but what kind of functionality you think it'll need, what you want to attach to it. I can see many, many hours, wonderful hours of meetings in Discord discussing what is the best option for the arm that's going to stick out of the station. It's going to be thrilling. I'm warning you guys now. It's going to be very exciting.
All right. Yes, Pedro has been working with us on this as well, so thank you. Looking cool. Customization is just as important as expansion. Similar to ground bases, you'll be able to earn tints for your station, and you'll be able to...
It's got to be black and yellow. I mean, obviously. But the orange isn't bad either.
apply decals for your org logos.
Oh, there's going to be meetings about what will we name the station. That's going to be a 5-hour meeting too. I can just feel it right now.
Outside of minor and major hardpoints, your station will come with 2 unique base expansion points. One on the top side behind the bridge, and one on the underside. The top side will be for the crow's nest. Now, all the other modules built so far have very specific functionality, but I'll admit, this is for the org members out there who want the ultimate in personal space.
The crow's nest is the ultimate in personal space. Yeah, that's another 10-hour meeting. Oh, that is so good. It's gonna be so good. I know exactly what we're doing with that. I know exactly. Just gotta... One second. Here we go. This is what's happening with that space. I'm putting a chair, and that's it. Let's just skip forward to the part where I start getting very, very concerned, or rather, I was blown away by this last part. First of all, the question we've had is, what happens with Bengal carriers? Now, originally, the plan was there'll be a few Bengal carriers out in the universe, and orgs would fight over them to try capture the hull, and then you had to go and repair it and basically get the Bengal carrier to be operational, and then you'd fight each other with Bengal carriers and try to take them away from other organizations. So, I mean, that can still possibly happen, but what they showed here gave a lot more clarity on what their plans are.
This unique slot will be at the back of the station. It has its very own dedicated observation room with crafting stations, and has a transit tram which runs along the inside of the arms, leading to the docking collars where your ship will be constructed. So, the only question still remains, what sizes of ship can we build? Let's take a look.
What can it be? What possible ship will fit there?
That's great. Want to see the reaction?
right, so there we have it. The end game for Star Citizen, building the space station, all the resources you need to do that, then putting all the resources that you managed to get because of how you've built your space station into building the Bengal carrier. Once you have a Bengal carrier, this is basically your way to project power onto other areas in the universe where you need to fight over resources. So once you have that Bengal carrier, you can then go out and get, or rather relieve other people of their resources, right? Amazing. Amazing how it's all tied in. But wait. It's at this exact point where my jaw just dropped and I realized that not only was there one space station, but now it seems to be linking to two other space stations. So not only are you doing all of this resource collecting, refining, and everything in one space station to build your Bengal carrier, but you have two other space stations on each side also contributing and doing the same thing. Blew my mind. And as you can hear by the audience clapping in the background, I'm not the only one that was just blown away by what this means. So it's not 3 space stations stuck together. There are 6 of them. What have we gotten ourselves into? Throwing my hands up at this point. I'm still absorbing it. So you're not running one space station. An org-like test and the top 5 big orgs will be running 6 space stations, even more, producing 6 Bengal carriers at a time if possible. The amount of resources and active players and people contributing and organizing all this, I don't even know where to begin in this. I don't know. It scares the hell out of me. And I think that's a wonderful place to be for this game. I am more excited than ever to see this happening, for them to show us what their vision of the end game is. I've asked myself many times as I lie in bed at night, am I insane? What is wrong with me? But then they come out and totally redeem themselves with what they showed us here. It's all been worth it, ladies and gentlemen. It's all been worth it. At least we can tell ourselves that. So this is it. This is the end game. 6 stations in this system, maybe more systems with more space stations. Spitting out Bengal carriers, going out to get the resources, projecting the power of your org in other places with these massive mobile bases of the Bengals. And this might not even be the end. It's the end game right now, but as this game progresses, there might be more than this. All right. So be excited and be scared at the same time. And this video's gone on for a while, but let's wrap it up here. Anyway, that's where I stand on it. I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I'm terrified at the same time. Let me know what you think. If you like my content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, your comments below. Always appreciated. I'll catch you in the next one.